Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to F1 Total Division 3. We are here in the lobby on this occasion because we have ahead of us a mystery Grand Prix. As you can see here, you have the wheel ready to be spun with all the tracks that could be raced at this evening. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, all we have left is just to spin it. Felix, correct me if I'm wrong. Alright. And now we see which track we'll be racing at. It's going to be one of the reverse three. I think it's just going to be Britain, will it? Yes. Britain reverse is where I just pinged them to start racing, to start going before the wheel spun. But Britain reverse it is. And now we just wait for qualifying to get underway as normal. And I clear everything else off my screen that I've put on in for doing the wheel and get ready to just start doing stuff normally. Yeah, so one of the three reverse tracks will be, the drivers will be just less likely to know the tracks as well, because obviously they're less common to be raced at compared to the forwards ones. It just makes it a whole lot more annoying to know corner numbers. Could have been a better one, but I don't mind that. Yeah, just having to set up my stream just for normally streaming now, which is weird. I have Discord audio off. Hold up. That's my bad. Now it's on.
Right. As I was saying, I think for us, Britain reverse should be great fun.
Yeah.
For everyone else, probably not so much, unfortunately. The track that they have heard absolutely no knowledge of.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I mean, we had one social race at the start of the year, Britain reverse, and I'm sure some league somewhere has done it. But for most of these guys, there simply won't have been much, if any, racing around this track.
Yeah. It's as the reverse tracks go. It's there's only 3 of them, but I don't think it's an awful track.
It's by far my favorite.
Yeah, and it's really fun to drive, but overtaking isn't easy for sure.
The thing is, Silverstone Reverse is the only reverse track where, for the racing, I prefer the reverse layout. Because I do think the racing around this layout is better than the racing in the regular layout, at least on the F125 game. Literally only because of that straight from Corps into Luffield, where you get a nice braking zone, you have a DRS zone there, and you have that difficult exit as well, with the grass on the right on the exit, which causes a bit of mistakes there as well, opens up opportunities. On the normal Silverstone layout, you have such big issues with dirty air that when you're following in a DRS train, and also I think that probably is helped with people being much more confident on that track. There's way less mistakes on a normal Silverstone layout. So probably if people ran this reverse layout as much, especially that mistake through Cops, because there's also massive dirty air through there. So really the only way possible to overtake that into Luffield is when that mistake happens, but it happens so often. But then if people ran this layout more often, there wouldn't be that mistake as often. So I think because this layout isn't ran often is why it is better for racing.
Yeah, apparently it's a wet race, so that should be interesting.
As if it couldn't be, like, already bad enough that the people have to race this track that they have mostly never raced at, I imagine. They are also now doing it in the wet.
Yeah. So the thing with this track is that it's only better than Silverstone Forwards, because Silverstone Forwards is so bad on this game specifically.
Oh Well, no, it's not bad. It's just the
Oh, yeah.
racing is not great.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty
from a driving
horrible all the time.
perspective, like it's a very very fun track, and this track I think it's also quite fun to drive.
Yeah.
My main gripe with most of the reverse tracks, in fact, is turn 1.
Yeah. All
Because
three
it
of them.
creates such a awkward first lap when you have a flat out tight corner heading into a tight chicane.
Yep.
It's just like a recipe for death
Yeah,
and
yeah.
disaster.
Yep. For sure.
Once again, for us, great.
Right. Yeah, lap
Love
one's
that.
going to be really fun.
For the drivers, I mean,
Yeah.
it reminds me of that BTCC clip. I don't even know what track it is, but the commentator said whoever designed that first corner should be beaten about the head. Do you know the clip?
I feel like I've seen it, but I can't really remember it. But I must have seen it.
It's a great clip.
Yeah.
But it perfectly captures, I think, how I feel about most turn 1s on reverse tracks. But of course, no one designed that corner to be turn 1, so you can't go beating anyone about the head apart from maybe Codemasters devs for having the idea to add these reverse tracks.
Yeah, the reverse tracks are good in concept, but I feel like they chose the 3 worst tracks to put them at. I feel like you could have... Somewhere like Vegas reverse would be really funny, but...
Yeah, turn 1 would also be pretty shit.
Yeah.
What you could do, for example, for Silverstone, is move turn 1. If you took the old start finish straight
Yeah.
and made Luffield turn 1, that would definitely improve it quite a bit.
Yeah.
You still have maybe the issue of the run into what's normally the first complex of corners where you now go flat out right into a 90 degree. And that's also a bit awkward, but at least it isn't the first corner. But if
that
you
wouldn't be
took the old
turn
pit
1
lane
lap
and the old pit straight, that would really improve this track quite a bit.
Yeah, would be even more work than... Like, because it's already not a lot of... Like, it's still a lot of work to just flip a track the wrong way, and then moving the pit lane as well would make it harder, but...
I imagine it's less work than doing a track completely fresh, but it is probably still some work. I think the main work will be making the AI behave on the track.
And then you have to turn all
train the AI from scratch.
You need the new braking boards, turn the advertising boards around, things like that. It's more work than you'd suspect, but we do finally have cars on the circuit. It's only taken almost 4 minutes in qualifying to have the first lap starting, but here's Mihai coming around.
I'd imagine it's because most people are looking for setups.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at. These people don't have setups for this track.
Yeah. And I'd guess most of them don't really know how to take it. Mihai taking a break for turn 1, obviously being very safe into the Vale chicane. In reverse, it's not actually that much tighter, but it does tighten on the exit, which is the weird thing with all of these reverse tracks, so that they all tighten on the exit. Mihai then taking us through Stowe and down into Beckett's first, and then it's Chapel first, then Beckett's and Maggots. It's a very, very different complex.
It's so weird to say that way.
Yeah, it's a very different complex.
Beckett's and Maggots.
In reverse, obviously. Then you've got Cops, which should still be flat out. And
is Cops flat?
Yeah. Cops is flat, it's just not flat on lap 1.
Isn't flat.
Yeah, it's not flat on lap 1 in the race, and everyone tries it. Everyone tries to take it takes it flat, lap 1, turn 1.
I don't think it's just lap 1. It's not flat in general if you're following behind another car.
But everyone tries to take it flat in lap 1.
It's fairly close to not being flat for Mihai already.
Yeah. But then, like, the first lap of the race, everyone tries to take it flat because they were doing it flat in quali, and then everyone realizes that they can't do it flat in the race.
It's great.
And then this section
whoever had this idea in the Codemasters boardroom is like, it's a great idea. I
Yeah.
can't lie.
And then the sector 1, the loop section is just really clumsy. 27.3 from Mihai, so a couple seconds off, or a second or so off forward pace. Partly will be down to confidence, and I'm sure to a certain extent the track might be slower. I don't know exactly.
I have no idea if the track is slower or faster this way.
I'd guess slower, but
enough to know if lap times are.
I can probably just compare time trial world records, and that will give you a decent indication.
Picks 27.4, so about half a tenth off Mihai.
Yeah. Viral 27.7.
Viral 27.7. Aussie 37.8.
Yeah.
So that's a lap of a spin or something like.
Yeah. Or possibly just
Next one
a
over the line
very
is
safe banker.
Action Rig.
Yeah, he's just coming into, what's that, turn 4? And then it's just...
We need to decide how we name the corners. Like, is this now turn 2? Or is this whatever the end of the lap is?
Where possible, it's easiest just to use the corner names, but I don't know all of the names.
Yeah, true. For Silverstone's probably...
Yeah, like, the tracks with recognizable names will be the least bad in that aspect, because the corner name doesn't change even when it moves position, but the issue is the corners which either don't have very memorable names or you just don't know the names of them.
Yeah, I remember the Division 2 Mystery Grand Prix last season in Austria, where I kept calling the corners by their normal numbers, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
It
turn
makes
3
sense.
would be the third to last corner of the lap.
Yeah. Or you just say, like, original turn 1, referring to the last corner of this lap. Aussie 27.9.
It takes so much
fairly
more brain
close.
power like, in every way to do these reverse tracks. Because it just feels weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, the pit lanes are a fucking nightmare. At least the exit on this one isn't a problem. But for example,
Austria.
at Zandvoort and at Austria, the pit exit comes onto the racing line.
Yep.
On this one, the only problem I think is the pit entry being a bit...
Yeah. It is
I
downhill.
think it's very blind. It's downhill and blind, so it's very easy to speed.
Yeah.
I mean, the pit entry at the other tracks is even worse as well, because at Zandvoort, it's quite easy to go into the wall that sticks out, and at Austria, you just don't see the wall until it's too late.
Yep. Austria,
And
like,
so
it's
you
a
need to
90-degree
brake before
corner
you see
with
the
a
wall.
wall. Austria, it's just 90
you
degrees
don't
with a
see
wall.
the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't see the wall. At least in this one, you know, like, there's no wall. Well, there is a wall, but you don't drive towards a wall.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't see where the pit line is. So you have to brake, like, in anticipation.
Yeah. Flavors has used up
It
all
goes
his
so far
battery.
downhill, you just can't see where you're going.
Coming up to the line. He does go second, though, with a 27.3, despite running out of battery before the end, so he'll have lost probably all that time to Mihai, and maybe more, just from ERS management. As that is someone else who just posted a lap, and that was Owais, who's not done a very competitive time there, which you'd assume is just sort of a banker.
Yeah, I saw him over the line with like 100% ERS, so I think he abandoned the lap halfway through.
Yeah. That's Harley,
especially like on a track like this, a Mystery Grand Prix, I think some guys might just be putting in like enough fuel to keep running laps and lap after lap.
Yeah.
And just get the feel for the track layout. Wouldn't be a terrible idea, and then having a go idea. An Action Rig is a big lockup and a spin. I think he maybe did the tire in the grass there under braking.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Immediately the car just went round on him.
He just turned his steering wheel to the right as if he was like forgetting
yeah, I'm
where.
not sure if he.
Forgetting
he
where the
waited
track
so
goes.
long to rejoin, and then he tries to rejoin right as Kaiser goes past. That was weird. Thankfully, Kaiser not in the lap, so there was nothing lost from there.
I just remember about the
Back
Austria reverse pit lane. The way it puts you on the apex, any car coming up behind you just has to go round you. And that's what allowed me to overcut Borbadino in tier 2, because he
because it's
he came out like just as I was there.
On the apex.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same issue in the entry, but I feel like the entry it's less of a problem because you always know when there is someone going to the entry. At least if they follow the rules with the white line. You always know they're pitting, and you know to anticipate to go wide around them, to maybe take the corner a bit slower. But you can't, unless you're staring at a track map in the middle of turn 1, at which point you're probably looking at the track, especially if you're close with other cars. You don't notice someone coming out the pit lane until he's in your face, like on the racing line, and you're just kind of screwed. Harley over the line, and that puts him into 4th place, 27.687.
Not bad, to be fair.
Harley was complaining quite a bit about the track choice here. I think mainly because the original plan was for me to do the spin on my phone, and so there wouldn't have been anything on stream for it. And I had the spin done. Then we decided to redo it on stream because it's better that way. You know, if you can see it happening. And I had Spain, and Harley really likes Spain. So
Ah.
I'm sure that's a bit. He's gonna be a bit miffed there to miss out on getting to race Spain.
Yeah.
But he's actually quite up there. I think for pretty much everyone, this is a bit of a, a shit spin. So it's at least they're all suffering together.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I think I would have liked to run Slows in reverse in Division 1.
Get a track which not too many people know.
I
don't
feel
mind
like
the
I have
reverses.
maybe an advantage there because for some reason I do quite well at adapting to a track quickly. It's just something that suits me, like getting a feel for it quickly. And I of course I've raced some laps of Slows in reverse, so I kind of know where I'm going. But for everyone, it's a bit of a mystery, really, what the correct lines are. As Pixis over the line, doesn't improve.
And he's still
Suzuka
there.
just up to 7th.
Yeah. And Pixie's still there on pace as well. He's less than a 10th off, even, as that's Harley coming back into the pits, as is a Red Bull there of Jules Valentine, who's just going to the line, starting a...
Dylan is coming up to the line on a hot lap.
Yeah.
I like that line on the exit of the loop, really wide. Gets him a great exit. Now all the way flat to the line. It's 28.23. So much for me liking the line was horrible. Don't do that. Well, I don't know. Maybe do that. I don't know if the rest of the lap was just horrible.
Possibly.
Takes in the grass through Cops. Bazooka not on the push lap. Next one behind that is Jules Valentine. So the only one on a push lap right now is Jules Valentine. With 5 minutes to go, everyone warming up for their last laps, it seems.
Yeah, it makes sense. You don't want to be... Like, if you've done a lot of laps on one set of tyres, you don't want to be still on that set of tyres once the last laps start.
I didn't really catch how many people did that in the end, if many people did that, or anyone even.
And there are a few people with like
running
3 laps on their tyres, psycho-wise.
Yeah, I don't think anyone ran like a full stint or anything like that, but there's definitely a few people who ran multiple laps in a row.
Yeah. No one has...
Looking at I think guys like Always, for example, will have some more pace.
Yeah.
Kaiser, I imagine, I think also did multiple laps on one set of tires, so he should be improving a bit at the end. And we'll see who else maybe had more fuel, or had lots of fuel in the tank, and of course, slow laps because of it. Jules Valentine there into 7th position, 28.0.
Not bad.
Aussie, 1.5 tenths up in the first sector, now coming up in the sector 2, and oh, a nice save. But a good amount of time loss, I imagine. Still 2 tenths up, but definitely losing time down the straight now with the momentum lost from that slide coming onto the, is that the Wellington straight?
Yeah. Yeah, coming onto the Wellington straight. And
I'm glad I have you here as the local.
Not that
all
local.
the names. Well, more than me. And Aussie back in the pit lane.
Not bad enough. Interesting. And yeah, he's only a couple tenths up, but when clearly thinks
If he
he's
was
got
up at
more
all
time.
after the the big slide, because the detection point for sector 2 is right after the corner, so you would have still been losing time all the way down the straight afterwards.
Yeah.
So if he was still up, more of them by much, then his loop didn't look too great either.
No.
But yeah, people coming out the pit lane now for their last lap. Well, one people, Viral.
Going early.
Rest still in the pit lane. Yeah, going quite early.
Possibly 2
He's got
laps.
3.6. Yeah, he's got 3.5 laps of fuel in, so you could do multiple laps if he needs to.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why he's gone so
He
early.
can abandon.
Makes sense. That's why. Yeah, he goes early. Make sure he gets that little safety net especially when you don't know the track so well. Going quite intense on his outlap,
as well
considering.
in the strategies, because of course the normal way this is a definite one stop, but it's difficult to make the one stop actually work because you get so much tire wear.
Yeah.
So that should be the same in the reverse, but I think the one stop got a lot more difficult on the normal layout when they made the tires one step softer. Now I don't know if they also made that change on the reverse layout.
I'd assume so.
Or if the reverse layout tires are still the tires from the day 1 patch.
I feel like if they change the tyres at one, they change it at the other, but I don't know. Viral's gone quite intense on his outlap, considering he might be thinking about doing two runs on these tyres, so we'll see how that affects him as he...
There's also everyone coming out the pit lane right at the start of his lap, so he's got some horrific timing there. Now has to be lucky that the people get out of his way nicely.
Yeah, as he heads down into the Vale chicane for what might be the last time. He's got enough room to back off and go again, but nothing really beyond that. Taking us up into...
Maximum commitment that was.
Yeah, taking us up into Stowe now. Not quite taking it flat. It's never quite going to be flat in this sort of session. With the right setup, maybe.
No.
But...
No.
It's 2.5, 3 tenths up through that first sector, which would put him already close to where that top 3 is, and you'd assume he'd have more time in the rest of the lap, considering how much he's found so early on. Taking us into Copse now. It's getting sideways on the curb. I think the thing with Copse is it's not really sure if he takes it in 8th or 7th, considering how much speed you carry into it. Going to get it stopped for Luffield, rotating it through. A bit of a slide on the rear, but that just helped with the rotation, really. Now, trying to get it through Brooklands. Seems to have done so nicely. Again, a little bit of a slide on the exit, but 4.5, 5 tenths up as he heads down into the final sector. Just need to keep it composed and try to find even more time if possible, because you'd expect some of the other drivers will find improvements too, rotating it through the final proper corner of this lap then. And now it's flat to the line with Battery deploying for as long as he can. Crosses the line, 27.0 for almost a 7/10
yeah,
improvement.
He's up by 10 from the first sector.
But yeah, it's not
Response is
confirmed.
coming.
Nothing
Flavor's up by
solidified.
2/10.
And everyone behind
Harley going for a lap
Viral.
as well. Picks, of course, everyone now out in the last laps. Mihai and Flavors are both improving in the first sector. Aussie up by a 10th. Harley's in the grass. There's no improvement coming here.
Yeah, everyone behind Viral still searching for improvement. No one's done yet besides him. He's not going to get another lap in, so that 27.0 is the best he will be able to manage. As we see Mihai coming through Brooklands and see he's up by 2.5 tenths, which still would not quite be enough to get him to where Viral is, so he needs to find
Flavor's
some time
up by 4.
in that final sector. Flavor's up by 4 tenths. Looks to be set to take that pole away, at least provisionally, as Mihai comes through the final couple of corners. He's got a bit more battery on this occasion than what Flavors did at least previously, as he's heading up towards the line. Mihai does find the time and goes fastest ahead of Viral. Now what can Flavors do as he approaches the line as well? Improves further, and it's Flavors who takes that provisional pole, picks up by 2 tenths. He's going to need a lot more than that if he wants to challenge for those top 2 positions. As he rotates us through the final sector, he needs to find a couple of tenths in these last few corners if he wants to get that decent lap. And Dylan goes up into P5 there, just sorting in behind him. But we'll see, picks it across the line. What can he do? He does improve, but only
Last one going
by
around
2
is still
tenths.
Valentine. Everybody else on a slow lap.
Only 2 tenths found from picks in the end. And it's no positions found. He's going to be P4, and it looks like Flavors is going to have pole unless Jules Valentine can pull out a very special lap at the end here.
Wasn't a good lap field at all. Now he's
Always
in the grass,
wide
that
and
lap is over.
invalidated. Yeah. Was 2 tenths up. Could have gone maybe P7. But yeah, that's the lap over. But it's Flavors on pole. Mihai second place. Flavors looking to pick up where he left off from Miami. Obviously, he did have a very strong race then.
Could say that. Flavors in great form. It's a close qualifying there. 18 thousandths in the end between Flavors and Mihai.
Tenth and a half
Just
in
over
the
a
top
tenth
3.
more to Viral, yeah.
Yeah. And picks a further tenth and a half behind. Then it's 3 tenths down to Dylan. So there is a wide field spread. Edwin didn't get a lap in. I don't know if he even went out.
I didn't see him at all, no.
No.
Not the best of qualifyings for the home crowd as well. 5th and 6th for Dylan and Harley. Is there any more Brits on the field actually? There must be, right?
Not
What do
that
you
I
think?
can think of.
No one who'd race under British flag anyway, I think. Wait, race
Yeah.
director. I can see it. Oh well, Harley has the world flag, but I know he's English, so. But yeah, no, those two are the only Brits in the lobby.
Surprising, because I feel like there's a bigger proportion of just F1 people generally that are British.
Well,
but-
many people. I think Marcelio is lives in England, but he raced under a German flag, and then, well, Mihai is Northern
Irish.
Northern
Yeah.
Ireland, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a few more. For who this is somewhat of a home race.
Yeah, and it's the
Up to them to decide if they claim it or not. I don't know. I'm not gonna make that call.
It's the closest you would get to a home race, at the very least.
Yeah, I couldn't name a FIA Grade 1 track in Northern Ireland, to be fair.
No, I couldn't either. I couldn't name one in Wales or Scotland.
I can name some in Germany, but unfortunately we're broke.
Oh, that's really wet.
It's pissing it down.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so they weren't lying when they said full wet. But most people will start on the Inters, you'd imagine, because...
Just saying, if you're a gambling man, put all your money on Viral right now.
Yeah.
Could go horribly wrong. I mean, a track like this, and a division like this, you can't know for sure, but we know Viral is a great rain driver. Starting up in 3rd place, a great chance for him. But I mean, as we know, in F1 Total, especially in Division 3, anything can happen. Absolutely anything. A track like this as well, the tire management will be so crucial. Especially in these wet weather conditions, I think it could be quite important if you can maybe pull out the stint longer and make sure you get to the dry tires, maybe. I don't know if it's going to rain the whole way through.
I can't see it drying up, really, with how wet it is now, but...
Yeah, this looks very, very wet, so you'd think it's going to go the whole way through, but that's not how this game works.
It would more likely be, like, using one less set of Inters, if you got the better tire management. Because, realistically, the Inters will be faster after a handful of laps, as, most drivers on the intermediate, which makes...
You would think so? Oh no, there's quite a few wets.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on the wets, actually. Mihai, the notable one, Dylan, Harley, Lucas, Jules Valentine, Bazooka, Action Rick, Kaiser, and Edwin, all on the full wets. Everyone else on the Inters, that being Flavors, Viral, Pix, Aussie, Owise, and Marcelio.
So yeah, your instinct is to go wet here. I'm sure probably the game says you tends to go wet as well.
Yep.
But I'm fairly certain the correct strategy is the Inter. The wet isn't a great tire on this game.
And as soon
Same as in real life, it doesn't ever get wet enough for the wet to be usable for more than a few laps because the dry line starts to form.
Yep.
So it has to be pacing it down to an unbelievable level, and even this is nowhere near that level for the wet to be viable. And I think if it actually does rain that much with our settings, it might get red flagged.
Possibly. I've never seen a. I
think at least it needs to be. It is in the game.
I know it is, but I've just never.
If you get a monsoon icon, you will get a red flag likely.
Oh.
And I think that's the only conditions where the wets are needed.
Yeah. Have we had a monsoon icon? I don't know. Wet race and Silverstone reverse. 5 red lights. His lights are out, and away we go. And you'd expect Mihai to get a decent first few laps because of those full wet tires. As Edwin's been disqualified, he doesn't want to do it. As Flavors and Mihai going side by side in turn 1, Flavors goes off, and that's Mihai on the inside. Surely moves himself up into the race lead with Flavors defending it well. Mihai does have the better grip though, and moves past on the wet tires. He goes off into the grass, and now it's Flavors back in front. Viral takes 2nd place. Mihai down to 3rd, despite having the tire that should be better at this stage of the race. Flavors seem to struggle, and Viral already looking to close in and potentially go for a move here. Down into Chapel. He's going to try and pull to the outside. Flavors covers him off. Is he going to think of the inside? He backs out on this occasion. Mihai and Pix almost looking at battling as Mihai does seem to be struggling in these conditions. Viral takes the lead as Mihai goes wide. Those full wet tyres really don't seem to be having the intended outcome for him as he now goes onto the grass under pressure from Aussie into Cops. It's not going to be flat in these conditions, certainly.
And Aussie goes wide as well. The wets aren't tired to be on whatsoever. And here comes Dylan as well. Mihai all over the place.
Is it the tyre or is it more just Mihai really struggling? Because obviously he's now been passed by
I think it's
Dylan.
both, but the wet tyre definitely isn't the one to be on.
He's been passed by Dylan, who is on that same tyre. But Viral, having built up a lead of a second, 1.2 by the time they get to the Wellington Straight on lap 1. And realistically, his aim is going to be to check out and never to be seen again. Which, in these conditions, is quite possible, I'd say. As Aussie now pressuring the back of
always
Pix.
off in the grass. And that allows Marcelio now to slip through on the inside as always goes way off and down towards last place.
Yeah, so it's a
Aussie is a great run on Pix, yeah, but it's not really possible to make an overtake here.
Mihai
into the pit lane!
Into Pix! He's given up on those full wets. Basically,
he's not the only one.
On. Yeah, he's
both Williams in.
Lucas.
A double stack at Williams. And I don't think they had damage. So it's probably a tactical decision to get off the wins as soon as possible. And of course, then they have to make up a full pit stop now.
Yeah. Yeah, there is no wing change for Mihai. He's just bailing onto the Inters.
I think Lucas is going to change the wing. He has got some damage. Yeah, okay. So for Lucas, this is a wing change. For Mihai, it was just a tactical decision to bail out on his strategy mistake.
Yeah.
I do think it would have been better now to do what the other wet runners are doing and like bite the bullet for now.
And then go on to an Inter a bit later.
Yeah, so you could still one stop because now Mihai, I mean, he's not going to make the whole race in this tire, is he?
No.
So he has
Depending
essentially just made
up,
an extra stop. And he's now 17 seconds back from the next car. And 32 seconds back from the leaders.
Yeah.
So in terms of the battle for, well, from the leader, from Viral, he's only 3 seconds clear.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you can see
so anyone who listened to my betting advice, you're welcome.
Rich man. It definitely doesn't seem that the full wets are the better tyre at this stage. As you can see, Dylan being the lead wet runner, and he's tagging a second behind Aussie at this stage. Aussie all over the back of Pix.
He's got the last 3.5 to Harley, so Dylan is doing by far the best, and as I say that, goes right off into the grass. Massive understeer.
And you can already see there's the beginning of a dry line forming on the circuit, as Viral is in the lead by 4 seconds now at the end of lap 2. Lapping 2 seconds a lap faster, as you just do in these conditions. But the interesting battle at this stage is probably going to be here in the fight for the second place, although Owise is close to the back of his teammate Action Rick, who is on those full wet tyres that will be not the ideal ones to be on in this situation, but he goes sliding wide. And Owise doesn't seem to be having the happiest of races either.
It's a tough race for everyone. Tough conditions, and the track they don't know that well. So it's going to be a race of attrition for sure, especially the further down the pack you go. By just staying in the fight, it's a very good chance to pick up a good amount of points here. Especially with so many people on this, difficult strategy now, running the full wets on the track that will be, I think at this point, much faster on the Inters. You can see the gap from Dylan to Aussie opening up more and more, and that's with Aussie, looking to battle here for third place with Pix.
Yeah.
And I mean, the pace Viral, he's gapped another 2 seconds to Flavors this lap. He's gonna have Flavors at 6 seconds after 3 laps. He's genuinely 2 seconds a lap faster every lap. And Flavors is second on merit. He's not under big pressure from Pix, really. He's not holding these guys up. Flavors is on a decent pace. Viral is just in another universe to the rest of the division here in these wet conditions.
No, I honestly think it might be a bit more than 2 seconds a lap, because it took him a while to get past on lap 1. I genuinely think he's lapping more at 2 and a bit seconds a lap faster. It's a 43.5 on that occasion from Viral. As we see Flavors across the line, he does a 45.8. Viral is 2.5 seconds per lap faster than the field right now.
Yeah, and Viral has more ERS. It's not ERS. He's not burned everything that lap. It's just that is the pace.
Yeah, and obviously ERS is not making 2.5 seconds up in 1 lap. Because
maybe if you're running qualifying ERS compared to none mode, but
well, yeah, but
they're both running normal race ERS.
Yeah.
They're not empty. They're not 100%. Neither of them.
Yeah, not at all. It's crazy pace, but it's kind of what we expect.
I didn't expect this much. I knew it'd be fast. I figured he has a good chance to win. I mean, he's not won the race yet. We're only 4 laps in. A lot of shit can happen.
Yeah.
My God. He's well on his way.
Yeah, that's one way to push it.
I mean, keep that up. He's going to win by 52 seconds.
Going to lap half the field.
Half is being generous. Yeah. I think he might lap, if he keeps this pace up, he might lap everyone down to 5th.
Quite possibly, yeah. You'd expect the pace to slightly level off a little bit later.
You'd think so, yeah. I mean, Flavors hasn't lost 2 seconds lap either. The pace is stabilizing already, I think.
Ooh, big send! Aussie on the inside of Pix, it's contact! I don't think he meant to do that, really. I think he just kind of got to the braking zone and found he was braking that much later, and he was kind of forced to send it. But he made it work. He's up into 3rd place. And
did he make it work legally, or did he kill pigs in the process?
I think it.
Oh,
No,
oh
he
okay.
didn't.
I think he killed him.
Okay. There was a little
Good
bit of
sportsmanship
contact.
from Aussie then.
Yeah.
I didn't see the move, so I can't judge if it's like. Apologies. I just dropped my bottle. That's what you heard.
Yeah.
Literally bottled it. So I can't judge if that was necessary from us to let him back through, but either way, it's a nice thing to do.
Yeah. I couldn't tell either.
And
really
it could
from the
affect
angle.
as well the penalty. At least there's actually no like set way we handle that in stewarding. I definitely take it into account and give a like. It never means that I won't give any penalty, but it means I will lower the penalty.
Yeah.
Especially on the time penalty, I think. The penalty points is a bit more of a different question. But for sure, the time penalty I would lower if you give back the position.
Yeah.
Not remove altogether. I think Sully disagrees with me there, so...
I feel like it depends what the penalty is for. Yeah,
if you straight line someone, I don't care if they're in the back pass, you're still
exactly.
banned.
Yeah, like, yeah, but I didn't
But
really
like
see
in cases where it was obviously like a...
Yeah.
Just like a mistake, you know, that where you crash into someone else, like...
Yeah.
It's racing, especially in conditions like this, as Bazooka is right up the ass of Jules Valentine. Like, you can sniff him.
Yeah.
Now the dirty has kicked in and the exit wasn't so great.
I didn't really see what happened between us.
Mihai also, by the way, he's already caught action wreck.
Yeah, but he is... Yeah. And he's not exactly gaining on the lead, but he's only 30.
Yeah, he's on the back of Always now, and then
Flavors.
yeah, he's in the fight for the top 10 already.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gonna get involved in the fight for the win anymore, at least if there are no safety cars. As Bazooka is diving into the pit lane. I think he's gone just long enough that he can try and make that tire last in the end now. 20 laps on the intermediate. I'm not sure what the tire wear is. That will really be the deciding factor then.
The tire wear
But,
now will be probably... I'd guess the tire wear now is lower than what the tire will be later, when it starts to dry up.
Yes and no. There will be more wheel spin now, but the tires will be more cooled down from the rain. As Floyd, as the Kaiser goes very deep into the first corner, and Always or Floyd takes immediate advantage. Now Mihai with a switchback coming out of Club and Vale there as well.
Yeah, Kaiser went a little bit wide on the exit there.
Yeah, and Kaiser losing 2 places in the span of 3 corners there, unfortunately for him.
Yeah.
With both Mihai and Always being on the, you would say, correct tire for this condition, I think those places are going to be lost for good. He's going to have a tough time sticking with them.
Yeah, and he's probably going to be back into that battle with Action Wreck in not too much time. And I assume at this point Viral's just not pushing as much because he's 8 seconds.
I mean, if you're 8.5 seconds clear by lap 6, I can't lie, I'm checking out. I'm not locked in at this point. I'm just doing a nice casual Sunday drive.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in conditions like these, like, of course, you'd still put your attention towards the race, you don't want to crash. But you're not pushing.
No.
What is the benefit of like risking anything? You don't get more points for winning by 20 seconds or 15 seconds. And even with taking a more relaxed approach, he will definitely keep increasing the gap.
Yeah.
Like, he's so far clear, like, Flavors, no matter by how much he undercuts him by, he won't get ahead of him.
Yeah.
So
And
that means Viral is... Yeah, but I mean, if you're getting from an undercut you by 10 laps, what are you even doing?
Yeah.
And even then, that's such a big tire difference. The Kaiser's now in the pits, and exactly what I told you about the pit entry. He got caught out by the pit entry and ended up speeding, with getting himself a 10-second time penalty.
Flavius doesn't seem to have had a great lap because he's dropped back by about... since the loop...
Probably made a mistake somewhere because he's got Pix and Aussie right up his back.
And he's lost a lot of time to Viral. Viral has gained about 2 seconds on this lap already. And yeah, he's got
this battle for second is the only one happening out on track right now.
Yeah.
Always is sort of with Mihai still, but Mihai looks to be faster, so anything that gap is going to keep increasing. But Pix now, close-ish to Flavors, but this isn't a great overtaking opportunity, especially with no DRS, which you don't get here in the dry either, of course, since it leads into such a yeah, 130R type corner, and you also got DRS there.
Yeah, it's fast off the race from Viral there on his 7-lap old tyres. It makes sense why there's not DRS there, but and obviously like the DRS wouldn't help overtaking to that corner specifically, but it would allow you to follow a bit more, and that might make overtaking anywhere a little bit easier, even if it's not in a oh, Pigs with a big slide through the Vale chicane. Aussie not quite close enough to capitalise from it, but you know, if he stays close, he can put the pressure on and maybe get past us at a later stage.
I would say, yeah, I would say DRS into there, the corner we're talking about at the start of the loop, would be a safety hazard.
Yeah,
but of course, it's a video game, so.
And a lot of
you can get hurt technically from the force feedback, like if you crash really heavily.
Or if the game randomly decides to flick your wheel full, like.
Oh yeah, that can happen as well. but you don't really have to worry about safety, of course. Because if you did, you wouldn't be racing the track this way, especially. I mean, if you look at how some of the barriers are placed, because they didn't change that. They changed the curbs, they changed the pit lanes, the braking boards, the advertising boards, but they didn't bother changing the way the walls are set up. And that is a real problem as well for Zandvoort reverse. Because the walls are kind of close to the track, actually. And yeah, and Austria as well. There's some walls, I think, which kind of stick out.
And is pretty nasty at Austria, from what I remember.
Yeah, and you can, like, because it sticks out. So you go into that wall, and it's not designed to be hit this way. So you go to a full stop at like 300 kph, your car just disintegrates. And it happens so quickly.
I've seen crashes at those walls where they just shear off the rear wheel, because they just clip it with the rear, and because it's such a sharp barrier, the wheel just goes off, and then you just go flying across the track.
Yeah, there's two problem areas like that at Zandvoort. It's is it turn 8 on a normal way, like the uphill, well, normally downhill right-hander, now uphill left-hander.
I think. It's
like
yeah, I know the one you mean.
The really long one that's like flat in qualifying.
I think maybe it's 10-7. I think it might be 7.
7? It might be 7, yeah.
Yeah.
But on the exit of that, like, and it's so easy to understeer out there.
Yep.
Then you dip a tire on the grass and you just go straight, and you hit that barrier at like 250.
It's like.
And the other one
Reverse Cobbs had a wall right there.
Yeah, yeah, basically. And it's blind as well, because you're going uphill, so you can't see it in time.
Yeah.
And then there is the start of the banking. The problem there is that there's also a massive bump, as Pigs has a great run on Flavors, sorry, not Mihai. As Flavors did the tire in the grass, and now Pigs diving to the outside into Laffield. Third gear down to second gear for the rotation, but he's dipping a tire into the wet part of the track, and that costs him the crucial traction he needs. And Flavors pulls back ahead now, though. Pigs maybe with a good run out of the Brookland and down towards the Wellington Straight, but I think Flavors is just far enough ahead, and burns some Oldic as well to secure the place.
Yeah, he's kept it.
And in these wet conditions,
he's definitely under pressure.
Overtaking is going to be near impossible, it looks like.
Yep. Yeah,
the dirty air really causing big problems for the drivers.
Yeah, overtaking the wet is nasty enough it's nasty enough anywhere, but as a track like this, well, it's overtaking the reverse tracks is never easy, and especially not when you don't even get any DRS. You know, approaching hard.
I think on the normal track it probably would be just as bad.
Yeah, but like none of the reverse tracks are great for overtaking.
Yeah, Austria reverse is okay, but it's still worse than the normal Austria layout for overtaking, because the only real overtaking spot is the normal turn 3, but that tightens so much on the exit, it's basically impossible to go up the inside without killing the guy on the outside.
It tightens so much, and then if you overtake there, you're at risk of there's 2 other DRS zones.
True, but you also can't really battle into those corners, because they're so, like, they're too fast. Sort of awkward medium speed and quite tight in one line. As we've got Marcelio, who was caught up in the back of Jules Valentine there. Tire advantage, of course, in favor of Marcelio. So he has a good chance.
Slightly wide at Cops as well, but he's dropped back to actually second off the train, but it's nothing too bad.
Mihai also continuing his chase. At this point, he's only 3.5 seconds back from this battle for 7th.
And
The problem is from then it's well 7.5 seconds to Harley, another 12 to Dylan, and another 10 to leaders. So you can probably get 7th, but after that, already it's gonna be a stretch. As Marcelio now with a great run down towards Luffield, Jules Valentine, a bit of a struggle coming out of Cops, but I think he's just out far enough ahead that Marcelio can't look up the inside.
Yeah, Mihai just went off in the
But for sure, Marcelio's gonna get past him sooner rather than later, because he's definitely got some pace over him with the intermediates against the forwards.
Ossie's in.
Ossie in the pits!
Ooh.
Quite early. Ossie with the undercut against Flavors and Pick. He wants to get ahead on track and then just hold on to it. It makes sense.
I suppose we'll have seen his tyre wear and know it will be comfortable to make it, like, it's comfortably below half what he would want.
Yeah, I mean,
like, comfortably below 40, so that he can go to the end without succeeding.
Yeah, I mean, the options here, I think, you are a one-stop, inter, or a zero-stop, if that's possible. I'm not sure how the tyre wear is.
I wouldn't be certain on a zero stop in this race.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure if it's possible, so I don't. I have no idea. The drivers will know. If they have under 40% right now, they can probably go for it and risk it. And of course, when you do a one-stop on 2 sets of the same tire, it only makes sense to pit right in the middle at lap 13. And then if you have some tire wear to spare, especially if you're on a track like this, where it's so difficult to overtake, it makes a lot of sense to pit just before, especially then also for someone like Jules Valentine, who's getting off the forwards. And for someone like Ossie, stuck on the back of a 3-car train and not be able to make any progress. The problem for Ossie is, he's now right in the back of Harley, and this will maybe cost him his undercut.
Hopefully he'll be
Mihai
just like that.
Going up the inside into Cops? Surely not. Surely not. Yes! Oh, Marcelio. Leaving him, thankfully for Mihai, quite a bit of space. As Ossie has gotten past Harley as well through Luffield.
Flavors doesn't. Neither of these two have reacted to the undercut attempt by Ossie, so they're gonna let him do it. They're gonna give him.
That's interesting.
So
maybe they think, okay, well now he's past us.
Yeah.
Let's at least go longer and get more of a tire advantage to have a chance at re-overtaking. Because if they respond to his undercut now and come out right behind him with only a 1-lap tire advantage, that's going to be quite hard to overtake. It's a similar dilemma to what you have in Monaco. Once you get undercut, the correct response, you have 2 options. Either you pit the lap after and you must be damn sure you're coming out ahead. Because if you come out behind them with only a 1-lap tire advantage, you will never re-overtake. And it's similar now to here. Not as bad as Monaco, it's still at least possible to overtake, but still quite difficult. Then the better option can be to go 4, 5, 6 laps longer, however long you can get away without losing another place on track, and then have a bit of a gap. But you can drive that gap, like close it back up again with your superior tires, and then you actually have a pace advantage as well to be able to overtake. So at least you have a chance to, to counter the undercut that way. Just pitting a lap right after is only a good idea if you're going to stay ahead.
Yeah.
And with Ossie being so close behind him, he didn't lose much time behind Harley, who's now in the pits himself, came out behind Lucas. I'm fairly certain Ossie will come out in 2nd place.
Yeah, he's getting a couple of
So it makes sense by Flavors and Picks to keep going for longer.
Yeah.
Or, of course, I mean, I don't know the tire wear numbers, they could be going to the end.
They could be. I think it's unlikely. I did a Silverstone Forwards wet race quite recently. That was that had a pit stop, but then it was drying up quite a bit towards the end. So obviously it's not the most comparable, but it definitely was not possible to zero stop that race.
We've got Owais and Bazooka having a almighty battle, by the way.
Is Bazooka going to be close enough? Again, I think he might be. As Dylan
is in.
They make sense, coming off those.
Responding to Harley's pit stop, yeah.
Yeah.
He had a 10-second gap, but Bazooka's up the inside.
Has he made it work? I think he might just have done. Yeah, he gets his car ahead. It's the first lap of the race from Ossie on those new tyres, lapping faster for the
by a margin, by the way.
He's
Picks fast lap 43.6, Flavors 43.9, Viral 42.4. And if you have a look at what Flavors is lapping right now, it's 40. Yeah, Flavors just did his fast lap of the race at 43.9. Yeah. So Ossie is lapping 1.9 seconds a lap faster. Even if they don't pit and go for the zero stop and keep the pace that they have right now, which of course they probably wouldn't, because they have quite a bit of wear, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
in terms of Aussie. As
I mean,
Dylan has
Aussie
come
would
out
lose a
just
little
ahead
bit
of
of pace.
Bazooka and Always, quite crucially.
You know, Aussie would lose a little bit of pace as well, but not.
Yeah, but he's
all that
he's
much.
catching 2 seconds a lap.
Yeah,
So at 13 laps to go, 22 seconds, he would actually catch them if they don't pit.
So yeah, they definitely do need to just extend, like basically extend until Aussie's pace starts to drop off a little bit, and then come in then and just see if they can make up for the huge undercut that he pulled on them, which...
I mean, he's going to be like 4 or 5 seconds ahead by now already, and I think Flavors is still not pitting, and so is Pix. And we're over the halfway point now. Because the longer they go now, the more convinced I am they're thinking about going to the end.
Yeah, I think realistically, if they're
I
pitting
don't think
now,
Viral will, because he has like no reason to do that.
Yeah. I think
he will
if you're
come out
pitting, you
close
pit now.
enough behind them. Yeah, Flavors will not have a chance of defending against Viral if he comes out on fresh tires.
Yeah.
Maybe Viral is waiting for them to pit, so he doesn't have to get involved in the traffic at all. Wouldn't be a terrible idea, you know.
That's
Why take that extra risk? Dylan is now right on the back of Marcelio. Marcelio, of course, on the old intermediates from start of the Grand Prix. With Dylan now on fresh ones, Marcelio dives off into the pit lane, releasing Dylan back into clean air.
I mean, Viral can really just do whatever he wants in this race because he's got that 17.
He could probably go AI for the race and win.
Yeah, if he's a little bit worried about the tires overheating later in the race, he might extend to a bit beyond halfway. But the rain doesn't seem to be easing up really at all at this moment in time. I obviously don't know what the weather forecast is saying. It might dry up a tiny bit towards the end of the race, and that would mean the IndyCar start overheating towards the end. But I wouldn't be surprised if Viral does come into the pit lane this lap, if he is going to pit, which surely it makes sense for him to do.
I think he's coming in.
Nice.
Oh, okay, he's taking the wide line.
Yeah, just taking a slightly wide line there. Aussie now only 20 seconds behind Pix.
He's gotten 2 seconds a lap.
Yeah.
Every lap that Flavors and Pix stay out, Aussie gains 2 seconds on them. And Drills Valentine with 3 second time penalty. So Aussie, I think, has really pulled a blind out with that strategy.
Yeah, it's staying out again.
I talked about that response to the undercut of going longer and then going for the overcut, having an entire advantage. But there is still a reason people go for the undercut, even though that option exists. Like, the undercut is still better. It's just the only response you have at that point is to try something.
Yeah.
It probably won't work, but it's better than just giving up and pitting right after. But yeah, 42.031. Fast lap the race again.
Basically, did he not just match his previous fastest lap there?
Like, yeah, barely beat it. Like,
yeah.
So the previous fast lap wasn't him spamming EIS, that was just pace.
Yep.
That is the pace he has, and he will come out miles ahead of Pix and Flavors. And they wouldn't have a tire advantage at this point. They've gone 4 laps longer, but they're gonna come out like probably 8 seconds behind at this point. I'm not sure how much time loss there is in these wet conditions in the pit lane. Aussie's only 18 seconds back from Pix.
Yeah, he's definitely on pace to get there. As at the rate he's gaining, he only needs 9 laps to do it. And you'd expect, with how much of a tyre advantage he'd have, he should be able to clear the two of them relatively easily. Although, like, it won't be straightforward.
I think they're going to pit this lap or go to the end.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make much sense to keep going now. Viral is still going. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. He can pit on the last lap if he really fancies it, and probably still win. He's just gotten himself that much of a gap that he's completely in control. He's also lapped both Action Brake and the Kaiser at this point.
Wow, yeah.
Well, he just very recently actually lapped Kaiser, it looks like. Kaiser is right behind him.
Yeah.
Flavors and Pix are still staying out, so looking more and more like a zero stop is the option for them.
Yeah, it's something to note is that as things stand, Viral is on for a Grand Slam because although he didn't start on pole, he did lead on lap 1. And then has led.
If he wants a Grand Slam, he's going to have to pit and get a fast lap back, because right now Aussie has it, and he's not going to beat it on those tires.
No,
as fast as he is in this Grand Prix, that would be quite something if he pulled a fast lap out of his ass on like 20 lap old Inters at the end. Yeah. What's he lapping right now? 43.4. Compared to Flavors actually is not. Well, he's still like half a second lap slower, roughly, a bit more. As Aussie's lapping 41.6 and Dylan way off into the grass. Fucking hell, man. Stay on the track. At least try to.
Track's the grey stuff. I mean,
Dylan now closing up the back of Mihai. Also a big tire advantage here. So this maybe is a bit of a tease of the battle we could see when Aussie catches up to Pix and Flavors.
is there a chance that the reason why Viral isn't pitting is because he wants to go for the Grand Slam and he wants to wait for Flavors and Pix to pit first?
Probably. Like if I was him, I would just not pit until they pit.
Yeah. No, because he would come out like 8 seconds behind them.
It might be the first Grand Slam in Div 3 history.
Well, there's only been about 10 races.
Yeah, exactly. Because the only one that, like, I don't think anyone is like lucked into a Grand Slam, or it's like he won by a few seconds and you wouldn't think it's a Grand Slam, actually is. Yeah. The only one that comes to mind is like a dominant drive is Flavors' win in Miami. But that was the Grand Slam. He didn't lead the whole way. Yeah, Mihai led some of the race, the early stages, and then Flavors like
for like 10 laps.
Caught him back.
Was closing him down 2 seconds a lap. Pix is in.
And Pix is in, and with a 10-second penalty.
Yeah, and that is pretty much race over. He could even be in danger of losing out to Mihai. I doubt it, because no, I take it back.
Nah.
Yeah. Now will Flavors respond?
Mihai is like 20 seconds back from Aussie.
Yeah. Will Flavors respond to that? Is the interesting question. I don't know.
But I mean, look at the gap that Aussie has pulled to Pix.
Crazy.
Because Aussie is already past, like, Pix is only just now coming to the pit exit and gets to accelerate.
That's it. That's a 6-lap undercut, and it's something like 10. It will be over 10 seconds. Like
it's over 10.
Yeah, it'll be like 15 seconds in a
6-lap
undercut.
12 and a half.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like, it's pretty much bang on 2 seconds lap Aussie has been gaining on them. 9 laps to go, 14 to Flavors. He's well on route to catching up to Flavors. And I think he's pulled a blinder there with that strategy.
Yeah.
Because 6 laps disadvantage is not enough to pull back 12 seconds in 9 laps, I don't think. Of course, that's the gap from Pix to Aussie now. It will be different from Flavors to Aussie, but not by much. Because Pix was right with Flavors. As Harley has been overtaken by Lucas, interestingly, even though Lucas has much older tires.
Harley might have made a mistake there, I don't know. Surely in, like...
And Dylan has gotten past Mihai through the S section. Or has he? Mihai's come back at him. They're now side by side down towards Luffield. Dylan on the outside, Mihai on the inside. And Mihai breaks as late as he dares. Dylan trying to hang it around the outside, but can't quite pull it off now. Opting for the switchback instead. Gets caught behind him. Kaiser retires in the pit lane. His race is done.
Mihai does
and Mihai has hold down to 5th place for at least a little while longer.
Surely he's got a pit.
But you would think it's only a matter of time that Dylan gets past here. His tires are just that much better. And a new fast lap of the race again from Aussie, 41.5. Dylan sending it up the inside and gets the car stopped on the apex. A beautiful move. That is a textbook dive bomb.
Mihai tries to come back to him, but realistically that's done. And if he stays out, he's going to be overtaken by Bazooka as well. And I don't know. Yeah, Owais is on the same tires, so it will most likely be P8 for Mihai here.
Oh, Mihai back up the inside as Dylan has gone deep.
But he's not quite going to be firing up alongside, really, because then Dylan gets the inside line and should hold on to that. But Mihai does get the better exit because Dylan got onto the wet stuff as they go round, stow him. Mihai just about gets ahead. Dylan goes off into the gravel. There's a tiny bit of contact.
And he comes Bazooka now, getting the position against Dylan. And maybe Mihai as well. No, you run over road time before he gets him.
But Dylan, who ran wide through the wet stuff through the corner, then got a tiny tap into the wet gravel, and there's no realistic way he was ever going to keep the car from there. Mihai does keep that P5 for the time being. Bazooka now into P6. Dylan should be faster with the big tyre offset he has on those two. Flavors of P2 should be fairly safe at this point, unless he punctures at the end because of that 10-second for Pix. I don't know why he wouldn't react to it, really, because I don't know.
I think he's still holding out hope to beat Aussie to the line, because Aussie is not gaining as much anymore, is he?
No, he's not. I don't think he's had a great lap.
Yeah.
No, he's had a really poor lap. He's done a 42.9.
Yeah, he's
still faster.
What did Flavors do last lap? Hold on, I'll check. Flavors is lapping 45.0, 40. Oh wow, Flavors is in a second slower than last lap. 18 was a 45.0, 70 was a 44.0, and then 44.0, 44.1. So he was doing like consistent low 41s, and then he dropped to a 45.0.
I think.
But is that just one mistake, or like did he drop?
No, Aussie had a really poor lap.
Okay, so you lost 1/10 in the first, 5 in the second, and 3 in the third.
Might just be
Can that
pace.
be the tire like falling off a cliff?
Possibly.
Or is that him making a big mistake somewhere in the middle sector?
Maybe it was a big mistake through Luffield which affected his final sector, but
Yeah. I mean,
there is a
because he
chance
didn't lose 1 second. Well, he's now also done a 32.3 first sector. I think his tires are gone off the cliff. I'll keep an eye on this
yeah,
for the rest of this lap and let you know.
it may
If
just
his
be
sector
tire
2
saving
and
as
3
well.
are also equally slow to his previous lap.
And he
His
could
tire
just,
temps are fine, they're all below 80.
but I just think he could be panicking on where, because he's just noticed it and it's higher than he was thinking.
43.5 again, it's consistent. He's dropped off pace massively.
Ooh.
He's hit the cliff.
Viral's in.
Yeah, he did.
Viral comes in now, and so probably won't lead every lap in the end unless he gains all that time back to Flavors in the stop.
If Flavors pits now, he still could.
Yeah, I think Viral got scared because Aussie's now 29.6
Yeah, and
seconds.
Flavors
behind him.
lost another. Yeah, Flavors staying out, and he has lost about 2.5, 3 seconds to Aussie that lap.
Yeah,
It's another 44.5, not quite as slow as the last one, but his tires have definitely gone off the cliff. He takes the lead of the race, but that won't last.
no.
Viral won't be far behind.
I suspect Viral might genuinely have just got scared by Aussie getting so close. We were talking about the 10-lap undercut gaining you 10 seconds, and that's, we talked about the 10-lap undercut cost.
Another, like,
position.
2 laps maybe even just 1. And yeah, Aussie would have been in the lead.
Yeah, and that's the 9-lap undercut. How huge of a difference it makes. It's almost 20 seconds that was made up.
Yeah, good call by Viral now to go for the pit stop
Yeah.
and make sure he still comes on ahead of Aussie. It's unfortunate that it's his Grand Slam.
Unless he gains 5 seconds on this lap. You never know.
True. True.
I mean, technically, he will have led on this lap, so he just needs to overtake Flavors before the end of next. And
it matters who leads when you cross the line.
is it? From what I've heard, it was just he needs to lead on the lap for the official.
Yeah, but the person who gets the lead lap is the person who crosses the line on that lap first.
Never mind then.
You don't get a lead lap if you lead for like 1 corner in the middle of the lap somewhere.
Maybe not then. It's a shame for Viral, but
Bazooka under pressure from Dylan, who has a great run out of the S section, and now Dylan to the outside of Cops. Not a spot you want to be in, usually. Very risky. And exactly for that reason, as Dylan gets a bit of a tap middle of the corner from Bazooka and goes off into the grass. And that's Bazooka holding on to the place. Dylan switches to the outside for Luffield, but he's not going to send it from all the way back there. Oh, Dylan almost round. As there's a big snap of Austin on the exit of Luffield. And still stuck behind Bazooka, who's still stuck behind Mihai. Despite the big tire advantage that Dylan has over those two, he can't get the move done. Of course, he was past Bazooka already, until that battle with Mihai where he went off into the grass himself and Bazooka flew back past. Drills Valentine then with the overtake for 10th, the final points-taking position. As Lucas tries to switch back line, but he's just running out of tires there in the middle of the corner. Lucas, of course, pitted on the first lap, trying to go all the way to the end now. And his tires are going to be really struggling by now.
yeah.
Viral only 2 seconds back from Flavors. The move is likely to come, as they are also lapping Action Rig? Yeah, Action Rig.
Yeah.
But only Mercedes. Oh no, always is in this race. My bad. A whole lot further up the road. So I don't think Flavors will put up much of a fight against Viral. There's still 5 laps to go, and Viral has got somewhat more pace on him. I think Flavors needs to focus and keep his EAS in the tank to defend against Aussie. That would be the play for the championship, I would say. Secure the P2.
Yeah.
The question is, does he want to go all in for this race win? He could try it, he could go for it, but it's a 19-lap tire advantage for Viral. I don't think Flavors has much hope.
I don't think there's much hope.
But now it's a question of mentality.
Yeah.
Do you go all in for this? Bazooka has gotten past Mihai.
I think going all in for this is just silly, because he's never going to hold him up for the next 4... Yeah, fast lap of the race, 41-0.
Yeah, Viral just did fast lap the race while up Flavor's ass. Like, that tells you everything.
Yeah, there's
As
no
Mihai
way
and Bazooka
Flavors
are
will ever
still
go
battling, by
time.
the way. They're side by side. Horrible timing now with Viral right up Flavors as well. And Mihai is going
Ooh,
around the
little trap.
outside.
Oh, big send
And
on the
there goes
inside.
Bazooka. I'll swap for the lead as Rival is sent it up the inside into Snow and takes the lead of the race. Bazooka and Mihai still battling. Bazooka has pulled ahead. Here comes Dylan now with a great exit alongside Mihai into the second to last corner. Swoops around the outside and finally gets that position against Mihai. But now Mihai with a good run down the Hamilton straight. Dylan, a tire in the grass, has to cover the middle of the track as Mihai looks for the outside line. Dylan goes deep and Mihai with the switchback gets back ahead of him.
Yeah, I think just covering that line was, like, covering the inside just put him on the worst line, and then just invited that.
Yeah,
move
it put
from
him into
Mihai.
the wet part.
Yeah, he just put himself off the racing line and onto the wet part. Aussie now only 2 and a bit seconds back from Flavors.
Yeah, Flavor. I'm not sure if he didn't put up a fight against Rival or couldn't put up a fight, but either way, that was over fairly quickly.
There was never going to be a fight.
Oh, and there's Dylan. He's gotten past Mihai, who was a bit shaped there through the yes section. Unfortunately, didn't catch all of it. By the time I was on board with Mihai, he was already sideways, so I'm not sure what happened, if he just lost it, or if there was something else happening. But now, hopefully for Dylan, he's finally gotten that move done for good. As I say that, tire in the grass for both Dylan and Mihai.
Mihai's got the run this time.
But thankfully for Dylan, Mihai putting a tire in the grass as well means he's safe. Harley picking up a 3-second time penalty, multiple track warnings.
I think Mihai's pace on these tyres at the moment is still... Yeah,
it's impressive that he's actually keeping up with Dylan and Bazooka.
Yeah, but Bazooka's only got
tires.
a 4-lap tyre advantage. Dylan has an 11-lap advantage over him. And you'd think it would be... You know, he'd be quite a bit slower than that, but as long as he can keep in Dylan's 3-second range, which seems quite doable, he will get that piece in.
It's worth mentioning, the only zero stoppers in this race, one of them I expected, always. The other one I did not at all. Flavors, who is, by the way, low on fuel. I saw his yellow fuel light appear and it's not disappeared, so he's right on the edge of running out of fuel. So he's got that to manage as well as Aussie with a huge tire advantage, who is going to be charging down on him.
Yeah.
3-second time penalty to Lucas. It's going to hinder his chance of getting some points out of this race there. Down in P11 right now. As he also gets overtaken by Marcelio now.
Marcelio, of course. The last point, depending how much...
He'd have to gain a lot of time on Jules Valentine.
Yeah.
4 seconds in these last, well, 3 laps for them. 4 laps, actually. Aussie now 1.1 second back from Flavors. The battle is going to probably start next lap. Flavors low on fuel. He has to do some lift and coasting here. And get, save himself a little bit of fuel to make sure he makes the line. That would be the worst possible way to lose that second place now.
Yeah.
To run out of fuel, you know, like down here on lap 26. And Aussie just kind of drives past him.
Yeah.
He definitely still got P3. Picks his way too far back, and a 10-second penalty hanging over his head as well will cost him against Flavors for sure. If Flavors were to run out of fuel. But it's interesting. Flavors in a very, very tough spot here. Fighting with almost nothing. No tires, no fuel, not a whole lot of EIS either. A bit more than Aussie, but that won't last, I would think, because he's going to need all of it to defend.
Yeah. He's also going to
Aussie
get the first
already with the run.
into Chapel. He's not going to be close enough. He's probably just going to wait and maybe get a better exit out of Cops, go for it into Luffield. Maybe even earlier if Flavors is that much slower. But he's got 3 laps.
He's playing a good game here.
Yeah.
He's making sure he's close and making Flavors use more of the EIS he has.
He's got plenty of time. He can par the pressure
Exactly.
on.
He has 3 laps to like wear him down.
Yeah.
Make Flavors use some EIS. And eventually Flavors will run out, and then Aussie has got really nothing to stop him. Because the only advantage Flavors has right now is his EIS that he has over Aussie, but that won't last the whole way because Aussie can attack him without EIS. He's that much faster.
Yeah.
And even without the EIS,
And
look at the exit he will have
Here he
now.
comes. He's got the exit. He pulled the inside. And really, before they get onto the straight where Flavors can use his ERS, he's alongside and ahead. Flavors would be wise to back out of that one, which he does, unless he thinks about the lunge up the inside. Aussie leaves him the room, but it's not quite enough for Flavors. And Aussie moves fast into second place. It looked like it was always going to happen. It took him about a lap to get his way through, but as you'd expect, he does so. Viral speed. I just... He wasn't that far ahead a second ago. I just looked up and noticed he was 9 seconds
That's
up the road.
2 seconds faster than anyone else's race. The next fastest lap from anyone else is 41.5.
Crazy. Yeah, viral.
I mean, of course, he did that lap on way less fuel on these fresh tires than the other people went for the one-stop, sorry, with the fast lap of the race. Other fast lap of the race being Aussie with a 41.5 and Pix with a 41.5. But like a few laps of fuel is not 2 seconds worth of pace.
No. I mean, you'd always expect Viral to be the fastest driver in these sort of conditions, but yeah, it's been absolutely ridiculous how much faster he's been today, and I don't think 10 seconds
he's gonna
does
win
justice.
by only about
Yeah.
10 seconds.
10
Because
seconds
he stayed
doesn't
out so
do
long.
justice. Dylan's got a 6-second bounty, but Mihai's fallen to pretty much 6 seconds behind him, so he should be
Oh
okay.
yeah,
to
Mihai's
cling
dropped
on
way
to-
off. I think
Dylan
his tires have
should
hit the
cling
cliff
on to
completely.
Yeah. Dylan should be able to
He's-
cling on to P6 in the end, because Mihai's just
Yeah,
dropped
Mihai's
so
looking to bring
far
home 7th
back.
now. Make sure he stays clear of... Thankfully for him, Always is in a tough spot as well on tires.
Yeah.
He's got Harley charging on him. Thankfully for Always, then Harley has a technical penalty. So I think Mihai and Always should stay where they are, given the tires make the end.
Yeah.
And the same goes for Flavors as well, the gap to Pix.
And
More than
Pix
big
has
enough,
been
especially
way
with
too
Pix
long.
having a 10-second penalty as well.
Yeah.
So there should be no more changes in the top 5, top 4, because Bazooka is still on attack from Dylan, but Dylan does have a track limit penalty, so that should also be Bazooka fairly safe. I think
Yeah.
the top 10 looks fairly locked in at this point,
Yeah.
heading into the last lap of the race now.
Yeah, Vara just starting the last lap of the race. Pix, I just think, went a bit too long. Honestly, he got himself into a situation where he didn't have enough laps to catch Flavors.
He basically lost to Aussie as soon as Aussie pit,
Yeah.
and yeah, if against Flavors he went too long, but the 10-second penalty means it's completely irrelevant anyway.
Yeah.
So
Of course.
in the end, it's 4th place. As soon as he got that 10-second penalty, that 4th place was the maximum you could have gotten out of this race.
Yeah.
Unless Flavors gets a puncture on this last lap, which I really don't want
He would have to get it.
to call.
It would have to be a rear
I would feel
puncture
like the
very
worst
early in the
person ever if it does happen now. Like,
lap. Yeah.
that'd be the worst commentator's curse. And Flavors definitely is driving carefully. As Dylan has gotten past Bazooka into turn 1, but Bazooka with a
gonna send
switchback.
Into the
happens so often now to Dylan.
He's not quite
But I
a bit
think
far
Dylan-
enough there. I think Dylan's got that one for the time
Yeah.
being, but Bazooka
Oh,
does
Mia is round, I think. No, what a save.
or just drifting his way through the first couple of corners. He's got catching
And now
very
Dylan
quickly.
needs to try and build 3 seconds in 1 lap.
6 seconds.
As Viral is heading into the last sector already. What a drive.
Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff.
10
The gap
seconds
he has to
doesn't do it
Aussie does not do it justy.
No, not
like,
at all.
he had like a 20-second gap before the pit stops.
Something like that,
Aussie
yeah.
just pitted that much earlier and had a better strategy. Of course, Viral would have gone for a normal strategy if he didn't have that big gap.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, his
Absolutely
pace
superb.
advantage over the rest of the field, legit, like 1.5, 2 seconds a lap on raw pace. Unbelievable stuff, and a well-deserved win for Viral. And Aussie with a great strategy call, getting ahead of Pix, getting ahead of Flavors, and securing a 2nd place. Flavors making that strategy on the 0-stop work as well. The tire is burst. He has a puncture.
Oh,
He's out of
really?
fuel, I think.
Oh, no,
He
no,
either had a
fuel.
puncture or he's out of fuel, because the yellow flag appeared and he slowed down. But it happened at the last corner, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, it'll be fuel.
And there is a yellow flag as well for Marcelio, and he's out of fuel. So that
So Lucas is going
will
to
not
get
cost him
P11.
anything as well either, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, sorry. Dylan bringing the car home in 5th on track. Bazooka will get the position, though, on penalties.
Yeah.
As Harley's all back of Always sends it up the inside. And that is purely for the ego now. He's not going to build that gap on the last 2 corners, of course. But he made the move work on track. Mihai bringing the car home in 7th. Rather unfortunate for him with the call for the wets on the first lap. And then going the whole race on the inters from the end of lap 1. Always takes 8th, then Harley. And finally, Gilles Valentine brings home
Oh,
1
Luke's
point
out
for
of fuel as
himself
well.
in 10th position. My god, Lucas and Marcelio rolling to the line together. And Gilles Valentine celebrates over the line. He beat a man lap down, a disqualified driver, a DNF driver, and 2 people without fuel.
Yeah. That is absolutely brilliant from Viral and Aussie. Very deservedly. Oh, Marcelo's just binned off the corner. Very deservedly.
Lucas is going to AI,
top two.
Marcelio stop. Yeah, Lucas is going to AI to keep driving at pace, and Marcelio has stopped taking the corners properly.
Yeah. But it's very,
How you-
well deserved from Viral. Brilliant from Aussie as well to take a very well deserved P2. Flavors as well, really well. Like, it just made the tires last. I don't know.
Yeah, very well managed. Flavors and always very impressive stuff to make the tires last the whole way through.
71% is what Flavor says. So, yeah, I mean, fair enough. To do a full race below 75%, that's, 2 and a bit percent a lap for a full race is, yeah. And obviously the blistering pace from Viral, and the top 3 all had brilliant races in different ways. Viral with the absolute domination in terms of pace. Aussie got the strategy spot on, and then Flavors made the tires last.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see like 3 such different approaches. Just, being fast, being smart, and managing the tire. And all 3 working out quite nicely.
Yeah.
A podium for all of them. Flavors keeps up his good form. Viral, I think, knocking on the door of the championship fight there as well with that win. Previously, 33 points behind Mihai. Mihai, of course, with a poor weekend. Flavors and Viral actually tied now, since Viral was 10 points behind him. Mihai still leads the title, but him finishing down in 7th, Viral up in 1st with the fast lap of the race, is a swing of 19 points in favor of Viral. And that means also a 9-point swing in favor of Flavor. So both Flavors and Viral now 14 points behind Mihai.
Yeah. And after this fun race, we've then got... Now, we've had Miami, we've had this, and now next week we've got Saudi. Which should be even more of just utter carnage. So... Yeah, that one should be fun next week. I don't know how a Saudi race would go, because it would either be total chaos with 5 safety cars, or it would just be quite boring. But yeah, and that was a fun one. Like, considering it could have been a lot worse in the end.
Yeah, it was good fun. I'm glad we got to see a track we don't usually see at all.
Yeah.
And delivered a decent race. Overtaking was quite difficult, but it created some very interesting strategies. And yeah, it was fun to see it play out. Different strategies at work. And
apparently, Viral almost went on wets. Apparently, Viral only went wets because Flavors... apparently, Viral only went into it because Flavors did.
God, imagine Viral hadn't won that race.
Yeah.
I think he probably could have gone wet and still won, I can't lie.
Probably, but... Going wets on... Yeah, just going wets on this game never really works out. Because the once the dry
never
line
really,
forms,
it never works out.
Oh yeah.
Literally never.
Well, once the dry line forms, it's done.
Yeah, and that dry line just comes in so quickly.
Yeah.
It's just free.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always better to have the Inter.
Yeah, the wet is just an awful tire, and it basically has been on every game that I can think of. I couldn't tell.
The last 2 games.
Was
you are a child.
Yeah, I'm too much of a child to remember if they were viable on 23. I didn't do league
race. They were. They used to be. When it was heavy wet conditions, like when Jeff said it's heavy wet conditions, the full wets for the tire to be on back in the day.
Like, I remember
actually as
them,
intended.
I was
like as it should be in real life, but now it is how it is in real life, where the full wet is entirely useless.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it creates a bit less strategy for the wet races. Well, there is strategy when people don't know about the full wet, but the strategy is: do you know about the full wet being shit? Yes or no? No, you've lost. So it's something you should do once, learn from it, and never go on the full wet again.
Mm-hmm. My first league race on this game was a race like this. It was a wet Spa race, and by lap 2, the Inters were faster. I learned my lesson there and then.
Yeah, you do it once. Maybe twice, you think, maybe it was just really weird. But I think by then you should figure out, okay, this is realistic. The full wet is ass. Yep. Never gonna use never gonna use a full wet in a racing condition. Maybe in qualifying, because the dry line is not coming in yet, and you're waiting for end of the session when the Inter will be faster.
Yeah.
Even then, I would probably still go Inter.
yeah, I've had qualies like that as well, where the game says the full wets are like a second faster, but you go out and Inters.
Then you go out and the guys in Inters are just lapping you. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's an interesting game in terms of like the game just doesn't know what to do in wet conditions. And not to mention the whole thing where if you have perfect weather forecast on, it will.
Don't get me started. How perfect doesn't work at all, and you have to use approximate to actually know what weather you're getting. But
perfect will show you rain icons, and then you have to base it on track temp to work out whether it's actually going to rain.
Yeah, but I mean the thing is, approximate actually is approximate, so that's why we get different forecasts from what we actually get.
Yeah.
But the alternative is setting it to perfect, and then yes, we will definitely get what it says, but we don't know what it says because it doesn't tell us because it's glitched. You only see one icon, and it's always the same one.
It's going to be perfectly wrong. Perfectly inaccurate. Yeah, it's very silly. Yeah. I don't think there's much more to yap on about, other than we've got Division 2 and 1 doing the Mystery Grand Prix that won't be Silverstone Reverse, but it could be any of the other 9 remaining tracks, and then obviously there'll be 8 by the time we get to Div 1. So, hopefully, Division 2 gets one of the awful tracks out the way, because I'm not going to be there and I don't have to drive it. I don't mind if it's boring to watch, because I'm not going to be watching it, and I don't mind if it's awful to drive, because I'm not going to be driving it, so you
want reverse Zandvoort?
No, I want, like, China or Qatar or something.
But then you can get reverse Zandvoort on Saturday.
I don't mind reverse Zandvoort that much.
I mind reverse Zandvoort so much.
I'd rather do Zandvoort reverse than China.
Fair.
Same goes for Qatar. I don't want to do Qatar either. Yeah, so Mihai leads by 13 points is what Flavors have just said. With Viral,
I think it's the same.
Viral being 1 ahead of Flavors. If we're trusting Flavors, if we're trusting his maths, that's what the standings are. Yeah, Mihai's gap is definitely on the decline, but he still has a big advantage. But it's on its way down. Like if you look at the last couple of races, since Singapore, Viral and Flavors have both mainly Flavors has gained on him both weekends. Viral gained on him in Monza and here. So yeah, it's definitely not over, and we're not all that far into the season. It's round 9, 10. Yeah, this is round 9 of
9.
18.
The mystery is always the halfway point.
Yeah. So this is perfectly the halfway point of the season. It's definitely not over. It feels like we should be a little bit further into the season than that, to be honest. But no, 9 races in out of 18. We've got 2 sprints left as well, which chucks in an extra couple of points that can be won or lost. If you get taken out in the sprint, have an awful one. And then it depends what you think of the remaining tracks will be quite a thing as well. So yeah, very much not over, but still advantage Mihai at this stage. And Saudi next week should be fun as well. Always love a good Saudi race, both to drive and to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and I love driving it and watching it's funny. So yeah, so after this point, there will start to be people that mathematically can't win the championship after not too long. And now that we're at the halfway point, give it a couple more races, and there will be people that are too far behind. Yeah, that's.
I'm sure the likes of I don't know who's on like 0 points.
There's Jonathan.
But I'm sure the backmarkers are absolutely horrified at this news, and they really thought they still had a chance of a championship.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be enough. You could always have some random person winning. It's still possible for Action Rick to win the title. It's not over.
Indeed, it is not over. But it would have to be quite a story for that to happen. Flavor's rival Mihai would have to collapse quite badly.
A little bit. Oh, what have I... Okay, that's... Yeah, I mean, it's definitely... The top's definitely still open. There's going to be less likely to change lower down in the... Or, like... No, that's not true. But... What am I trying to say? I don't know.
I think what you're trying to say didn't make sense. Because
I don't.
the positions lower down are even more tied together at the top, of course.
I tried to say something, and I didn't say very much. I think... Does Sauber lead the constructors now? Because...
Oh, I've got no clue. That's too much math for me. I need to calculate like 4 different drivers, so that's just not happening.
Well, Aussie gained a decent few points on Mihai, so I think...
And yeah, of course, only Mihai scored for Williams, so that's not a whole lot of points, and then...
Yeah, and then Aussie
But
gained...
oh yeah, also only Aussie scored for Sauber, so...
But Aussie gained a decent few on Mihai, so I think Sauber might lead the championship now, which is interesting. Yeah, but hopefully the rest of the season is going to be more competitive than these last 2 races, because they were both not the smallest of margins. Oh no, the last 3 even, because Flavors won by quite a lot in Monza, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's always different drivers in Division 3, like who are that far ahead.
It's not domination,
it changes from week to week.
Are being won by a lot.
Yeah, from track to track, from week to week, it's always it happens with these drivers who are like just running less practice, less experience in the game. They will be much more different from track to track in how fast they are. Like if you put me on a different track week to week, I will perform to a similar. Of course, I have the tracks I prefer a bit and like a bit less, but like, and maybe that will change how like if I can maybe keep up with kart racer or not. But in Division 3, when you like a track, you and your Flavors, you win by 20 seconds, and when you don't like a track, you're like 7th.
Yeah.
The difference is way bigger between liking and not liking tracks than it is for drivers who have got more years in the game, hours in the game, like run these tracks for years every single week. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it does come down to the track to track a lot more, but there's still obviously the trends at the front. You're never going to be like the championship contenders are never that far off. It's just often they're in a different order to one another. And like Mihai got 2nd in quali here. So like it's not like he was miles off the pace. The race didn't go his way because he started on the wrong tire, and that was basically it. Yeah, so it's just...
Right, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to head out, so...
Okay.
I'm gonna say my goodbyes to the stream. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. I'm sure Nomi will give you a proper goodbye.
Yeah.
From my end, see you all tomorrow for the next Mystery Grand Prix in Division 2. Hopefully, another good race there. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for having me, Nomi. Thank you to the drivers for putting on a good race for us, and have a good night.
Yeah, thank you as well, because it would get a little bit lonely on my own. Yeah, so that was it. That was Division 3, Reverse Silverstone Mystery Grand Prix. As Felix said before he left it, Division 2 tomorrow night, Division 1 on Saturday as always. Both of them being a Mystery Grand Prix won't be Silverstone Reverse, and Division 1 won't be wherever... Division 1 won't be wherever Division 2 is. So there's no repeats. They're taking it off the wheel, so it's a 1 in 8 chance of whatever's left at the final, or like for Division 1. But yeah, not much else to say really, other than just hope to see you guys around really, watching the streams as often as you can, and you know, this Division 3 title is not over, and it could still be fairly close by the end of the season, so don't miss it, and hopefully we'll see you in some future races